anyway, that pissed me off.
Funny.
That's it on sports. Let's jump into these. Well, I mean, a lot of shit happened. We can go with the.
Oh, hold up. The UFC, the trans UFC.
Oh, I guess we can do that. That's a good topic.
Yeah, because we was gonna go into basketball and then the.
No, that's a good segue. That's a good segue.
Yeah, my bad. Before we forgot.
So follow up with our deep conversation that we had about transgender a couple weeks ago, and people, we got good reviews off that. We kept it very neutral, but we did say that we wouldn't be surprised if the WNBA becomes the trans NBA or whatever whatever the proper term is, and then we get a group text, and also had somebody send me a DM of that same one of this player. Do you have it up, or do anybody know the name of that person?
I'm not too sure.
Anyway, this is
of the basketball player.
Yeah, and what team and the name and
her
all
name
that.
is Gabrielle Ludwig.
Gabrielle Ludwig.
Yeah, biological Robert John Ludwig. This
Mm-hmm.
dude is fucking. I don't know. He looked like
6'4",
6'4",
veins
250
arm.
Yeah,
and just dominating. Correct? Is that pretty much the gist of the article?
Yeah, just one way dominant, just fucking terror, bro.
Posterizing these women.
Like the post is just the thrust power that this motherfucker got, man.
Well, like shacking that motherfucker.
Right. And the thing is, he don't look like an actual basketball player. He look like she. I'm damn, man.
She.
So, yeah.
Don't disrespect.
I'm part of the problem.
You gotta get those pronouns right, dog.
Sorry,
Yeah,
right.
right.
She just look like not the best shape to be playing basketball, but just look like she put on a uniform,
bro.
I want to see what her drive into the paint looks like. Just
Yeah.
walking up.
Very top heavy, very top.
Hey. Just like LeBron.
And then what seals the deal is she has almost looks like a barbed wire tattoo on the bicep.
The tribal armband.
Yeah, it's like, oh, all right,
like
come
she
on.
did a stint in jail or something.
Yeah. So there's that happening, and also you brought up the UFC.
Yes. So with the UFC, and I actually had a discussion, and women aren't. They're how we say we read that they're not happy about.
They're not responsive to
this
this at all. They're in a positive way.
Yes, because the conversation we were saying was it's like women are already dealing with pay wages, pay gaps.
Yep.
The commercials and advertisement dollars that goes into it. So now it's like, not only are we not getting equal to the men, now men are just, however you want to say it.
I know, right?
The proper pronoun,
It's
deciding or
sound bad.
transitioning to our sport, and it's just like we're just getting shut out completely now.
Out of everything.
Yeah. It's like, and to your point, she brought up the UFC fighter. So there's this fighter named Fallon Fox, the first MMA fighter to come out as transgender. She once fractured the skull of her opponent in an MMA fight in 2014.
Yeah,
She was challenging Tamika Brents at the Capital City Cage Wars, where the 45-year-old fighter brutally defeated her American opponent. The fight lasted over 2 minutes after the referee was forced to halt the contest.
Okay, that don't even sound like a real regulated
organization.
Like a sanctioned.
This is
that's
Spider-Man.
Backyard, yeah.
I got 3 minutes. Bone Crusher's ready.
The bone saw's ready.
3 minutes.
I got you for 3 minutes. You're not going nowhere.
Oh my god!
Y'all killed that shit.
They said she received seven staples to her head,
Randy
suffered a concussion. Rest in peace to him. I think he passed away, correct?
He passed away.
And
a couple years ago.
Fallon
Right?
Fox?
No,
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
And then the orbital bone inside her skull was fractured. So when I saw this, because I didn't know this was a thing, I was like, okay, sports is one thing. Dunking. But when you're talking, there's a law that's
combat
called
sports?
domestic violence.
Yes.
People go to jail for this. Now, I get it. She identifies as a woman, but
this is just not fucking right.
Look, this is her. Look at the arms on that, bro.
Yo, so
hold
what
up.
the fuck?
Can you turn that around for me, please?
Look at that.
Whoa!
You're not telling me she's taking, what did you say they take?
Some like hormones and shit.
That don't look like has started at least, right? Like she hasn't started that process. And that was to my point. That was to my point. What happens when they just identify, but they keep, because to me that's a loophole. And what human being would not, there's no human being that's that justified to be like, wait a second, I can just live my truth, but then keep the parts that I liked
Right.
about who I was before and use it in athletic spaces and win.
It sounds like a
Keep my
loophole.
36-inch arms and just
These
crush
pythons.
skulls.
Like, I don't care how you try to paint the picture. This looks like you didn't make it in the league that you were supposed to make it in, and now this is your alternative.
But no. That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
But then people are gonna paint it
that's
another
what
way
looks.
too.
But yeah,
that's how it
it
looks.
paints
Right,
yes.
right.
Also.
But when women and the person I had this conversation with, they are like pissed,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Where are the feminist people at?"
Right.
That's what the question she asked. She's like, "So where are the feminist women at?" But I'm like, that's the problem because they identify as women. So what
See-
are you being feminist against? Women?
Right. No. You got to look at it from both perspectives. So look at it from obviously Fallon's perspective, but look at the opponent.
Victim.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a victim. That's
That's a
not
victim.
That's not an opponent
That's-
anymore.
that's a victim,
That's
right?
a fucking victim.
How do you train against that, bro? How do you strategize? Well, your next fighter's she used to be a man, transitioning.
You have an all male camp. That's what you do.
I would have been like, yeah, schedule me for another fight.
Yeah,
Bro.
who's our agent that's like, yo, no, you got this. Because you need to fire anybody that told you to
That
make
this would be an
fight.
okay.
You need to fire
Whoever
them.
co-signed
You know who
this,
it looked
You
like?
need to fire them.
It looked like that video you posted when those two girls was when that one chick fucked up the other chick with that combo.
I posted a video.
You posted
Oh,
it.
yeah, in like 2 seconds.
Yes.
That chick came out. I was like, what? It was like over.
2 3-piece combos.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Like she was standing still.
And the old girl never even came to the It's like she was bracing. Like,
It's like, do.
But I am happy because that fight lasted longer than the fight that you posted with the trans fight. They said 2 minutes. So it's
a
not
little
like,
bit more than 2 minutes.
So it's not like the opponent was actually trying, in there, but it wasn't gonna happen.
Nah,
Once
it
you're in there,
takes
you-
30 seconds to get full mount, so you got to do that. About 15 seconds to get to the center. Fill them out for 15. That's
Right,
30.
right,
30 to
right.
get mount. That's a minute. And then
Right.
to break an orbital bone takes the other 30.
Yeah,
seconds.
that's true.
So
That's true.
about 2 minutes. That's pretty accurate timing. But
Think of the mindset of the opponent, though, man. You got to be crushed. Like your morale's got to be like,
Not
I'm
only
fighting a
physically
man.
crushed because your skull got crushed, mentally,
spiritually crushed.
everything crushed.
Here's a quote from Brent, who had her orbital bone broken.
Okay.
She goes, "I fought a lot of women and have never felt the strength that I felt in a fight as I did that night. I can't answer whether it's because she was born a man or not because I'm not a doctor. I can only say I've never felt so overpowered ever in my life, and I'm an abnormally strong female in my own right. Her grip was different. I could usually move around in the clinch against other females, but couldn't move at all in Fox's clinch."
Oh my
Jesus
gosh!
Christ.
So she was just like a
Just
child
ragdoll.
almost.
Just get and then boom, boom.
So like,
Shut the fuck up, bitch. I mean, shut up, bitch.
you're stupid as fuck.
Ronda Rousey claims she can KO Fallon Fox. Come on, Ronda. We saw Amanda Nunes.
Oh,
We saw
Amanda
fucking
Nunes
Holly Holm-
retired you
Holly
last
Holm-
time I checked.
Yeah, you know what? They need to have Nunes step in, bro. I want to see that fight.
I kinda wanna see
Remember
that.
Bully Beatdown?
Yeah.
Remember Bully
Yeah,
Beatdown?
Nunes and Fallon
Jason
Fox.
Mayhem.
Yeah, they need to have that shit for this Fallon asshole.
Nunes and Fallon Fox will be the fight.
Yeah.
Now, if she go there and just ragdoll Nunes, like, all right, bro. Y'all shouldn't have transgender
Crushes her
women.
skull. I'll
Right.
be like, okay.
Right, Nunes was the premier specimen in order to fight you. If you fuck her up, you need to get the fuck out this fighting league, bro.
Now, would it be insensitive and rude? And I'm asking this, not even being funny. Would it be insensitive and rude to say, okay, we have men's sports, we have women's sports, there should be a trans sport?
there needs to be, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna
gonna
happen.
happen.
With the how
But how does that work
shit like
if,
this.
if you go from man to woman and woman to man? That's both considered trans, correct? Am I correct on that?
No, yeah.
No,
I
yeah, you
believe
can't
so.
have-
Yeah, you're transitioning.
So
Yeah,
how
you're
does that
transitioning.
work if you go from woman to man? So what if you have an opponent like this trans went from woman to man versus this trans that went from man to woman?
I'm not
Yeah,
too
because
sure.
then you're gonna have to make a fourth
Yeah.
one for
Yeah. The ones who
women
went-
and men.
so we
to
need all the
men.
divisions that went men to women.
Yeah.
And then we need to have a division from those that went.
Oh, that's messy.
But then you
bro.
gotta have divisions within or weight classes within that division.
Yeah.
So it's
not gonna
all-
work because who's gonna want to see the trans? Now, I know it sounds fucked
No,
up, but
yeah.
who is there a market for people that want to watch trans?
I would
leagues?
like to see it.
Yeah.
but maybe not all of them.
At
Maybe
this
not all
point,
of
I'm
them.
curious.
Maybe the men to women, but not the women to men. Maybe. Who knows?
But
like
to
the
question,
women
though,
and men
should
can't
there
go
be,
to the men league.
Should they have their own? Because the way I look at it, and I think I said this
Right.
last week, is we said it enough to go, women can't compete in the NBA. We need to have women's tennis, women's soccer. We saw enough disparity to go, they need to be able to compete because the playing field is even. So if you're bringing in transgender men to women and you got motherfuckers setting all these women's records, clearly that's showing you that whatever the science is, whatever it is, whatever you want to say, when they go from men to women and compete in women's sports, they're the best you've ever seen. So there needs to be another branch of competitiveness. Because if we want to say that this is a thing that everyone lives that way, then there should be a what's the word I'm looking for? A plethora of trans to choose from to create leagues.
Exactly.
I don't think it's just two every state. I think it exists.
No, I know.
So give them their own league.
And if there's been any time where this is gonna be popping, like people transitioning is gonna be now. Like
2021.
it's becoming more open.
Yes.
Becoming more widely accepted.
Yes. Trans league, male to women. That'd be the stipulation. You got to be going from male to from male to woman. Women's trans league, male to woman. That's the criteria to get in.
I would believe But as far as women to male, I think maybe they could probably implement that into the women's league. Maybe I'm not a professional on the physiological changes.
Right.
But I mean, you being a biological woman, I mean, how much of a could you increase to a male?
That's how you know
what I mean?
And that's how you know it's a thing, because you don't see trans women turning to men going to the NBA, dunking, fighting Derek Lewis.
They couldn't.
And why not?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why can't they?
See, there's me. I'm speaking from not knowing. So let me retract that statement.
I'm not correcting you on anything.
Right, but I'm correcting myself because
okay.
I don't know the science behind if they can really progress to an actual male and compete with men.
I don't know. I will go on a limb and say no because we haven't seen it. So when I see it, the question is, why is it that we don't see it the other way? If you're gonna sit here and say that it's not because I was a man that I'm so dominant, because that's how they argue. It's not because I was a man. I'm taking hormone. So why we don't see it the other way?
Right.
Why don't we see women that goes
that's
man
your
dominate?
Point. Okay, I see.
Because my point is, I think we need to be real with ourselves and say there is a competitive advantage of you previously being a man.
Yes.
You want to sit there and say it's not, but the reason, the fact we only see it one way. Yeah. We only see these stories when there was a man that used to be a man as a woman that's breaking track records, that's breaking basketball records, that's breaking orbital bones. Mm-hmm. You had not heard one story of a woman going to transition to a man, and that is the number 3-point scorer over Steph Curry and dunking over Kevin Garnett. You don't hear it.
I think a lot has to do with bone structure and shit too, because their hips are different.
Sure.
So
you need to be honest about that. Even though you don't identify, you were built with the intangibles of a man.
Right. Either way, a recalibration.
What we call a man.
Recalibration.
There needs to be recalibration. Yes. I don't think they were, like we said, I don't think they were prepared. I think they were just all about giving them their rights and their freedoms, and didn't understand that they were going to implement themselves into society. Right. And then now, how do you dictate that?
So that's 2020, 2021. People are scared of offending. You know what I mean? So they got to just open the floodgates.
Scrap that shit, bro. To be honest, bro.
Be realistic.
I've said that about like the N-word. Like there should be a law that it shouldn't be allowed in professional spaces because nothing. Right. But I don't want a law to force a person who thinks I'm an N-word to not say it and to say it behind my back no. I don't want a law to force you to like me. Mm-hmm. Now, right. Yeah, and when it comes to corporate or things in that nature where it can affect, sure, you have laws in place.
Of course.
But just like some random Joe Schmo down here say the N-word, I can get him arrested? Like, fuck no. Feel how you want to feel. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah. I agree.
But to the oversensitive shit.